Okay. Any job description had this that
Yes.
the
Yes.
candidate must know
Yeah, right,
facets.
right. Facets configuration analyst, Facets business analyst. That's how most of the projects are.
Okay.
Most of the requirements are. That's how it is. Okay, right?
Yeah. Ready.
Okay, right. So this is what generally the Facets processing steps, what you can see over here. The one which I'm showing you, these are the different steps which are under Facets. So before I'm going to explain you this, let me explain you what Facets is all about. Facets, as you know, it's one of the healthcare core administrative application widely used across industries. There are lot of modules, of course. We have benefit enrollment, we have billing. At the same time, we have even claims, right? So we have lot of modules are available on Facets. But Facets majorly, there are three major applications we use in healthcare. One is Facets, point number one. Second, QNext. Third is Health Edge. These are the three major claim management, claim core healthcare administrative applications we use in the industry. So apart from that, there is another application or a product called Epic. I think hope you might be heard of it. Epic. EPIC, Epic. Epic is a product. It's a product normally uses by the healthcare organizations. I mean hospitals. Hospital uses that Epic software. That is for patient management. And if we want to manage any kind of reports online to be submitted. For that purpose, generally that is something which normally we use. But whereas when it comes to Facets, is an application majorly used by the payer company. Let me give you a difference because I already explained those things again to you, but let me give you a difference before I am getting into the steps. Normally, there are two things. One is provider, second is a payer. Provider, nothing but hospitals, clinics, all these are comes under provider side. Second is a payer. Payer, nothing but insurance company. Or else if it's a government agency, which normally we call it a CMS, which is a regulatory body who regulates all the Medicare, Medicaid plans, etc. All that. So payer company, payer means insurance company is processing the claims because they get different claims from the providers in regular intervals daily. So they have to process the claims and whether if there is any adjudication is required and all, they have to send the subsequent information again back to the provider. You know the process because that process I have already explained you. And what are the codes that are required for us to use that also I have explained. Hope you remember that. Yes, sir. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So that we have already discussed so that I am not getting into that. Okay. So what payer companies do? Payer companies nowadays are using an application called Facets. This is called Trizito Facets, right? So the name itself is the Trizito Facets. This is a product I can say healthcare core administrative healthcare application. Most of the people, most of the organizations are moving towards Facets. Of course, we have other products as I already stated, but one of the major product is this. For example, payer company. I'm talking about insurance company. What insurance companies do? Insurance companies will receive the claims to the insurance companies will have two things. One, request will be raised. For example, someone want to have some health insurance. What people do? People will raise a request to the company, insurance company, that please insure my healthcare so and so. I want some product kind of. So what payer companies do? Payer companies perform underwriting. Underwriting means risk assessment will be made, whether insurance policy to be given to them or not. If yes, what is the age, what are their risk and all, etc. Everything will be evaluated. Based on that, policies will be issued. This is one service. There are many, but major services I'm talking about. This is one service. What is the second service? For example, a person who has taken a healthcare claim, undergone some treatment at the hospital, right? So what they do, insurance company, payer, provider company, hospitals and all everything raised claim request to the payer company, to the insurance company, stating, providing all the required information so that the processing of claims will be done by the payer and subsequent claim adjudicate claim settlements will be again paid back to the provider. This is the overall understanding. So major companies nowadays are using Facets because they are using old traditional legacy systems for a very long time. Nowadays, there are a lot of changes happen. For example, recently we know 2020 we have affected with COVID across the world, suffered a lot. There was no amendments as far as the facets is concerned earlier. But now there are some changes, even whatever the required code number for COVID and all everything. So Corona or COVID, for that also we got the code number. So there are different amendments happens. That is one reason. One more reason is that especially healthcare organizations, when we are talking about healthcare organizations wants to expand their services. For example, healthcare insurance company, they are more successful in Medicare, for example. Okay. Now they want to come up with some new Medicaid plans, majorly a state government sponsored programs, and they want to customize some products and all so that whoever wants they can take the products. So they want some kind of enhancements to be made in their existing claim processing, and whatever the required business rules that organization has, subsequent changes they want to make. For that reason, they want some new application because old application migration is something difficult. Why? Because old data, old systems, hardware configuration is very old. At the same time, all the applications were on-premise, not the cloud ones. On-premise means you are using application by installing in your workstation. So upgrading this is something not possible because there are multiple offices in different parts of the location. Installing an application at all the workstations, managing will be a tedious thing. It's an expensive event, you know that. So what people are doing now, people are moving towards cloud. So Facets advantages, Facets is a cloud application. Means Facet application we have, which is a cloud application, where a customer can access it, they can use it. Now, directly Facets have modules, as I told you, there are billing module, claims module we have, right? So we have benefit enrollments, right? So we have eligibility and subscriptions and subscriptions as well as provider prayer eligibilities, everything are there. There are a lot of modules are there. Of course, tomorrow I'll explain you about the modules. There are a lot of modules are there in Facets. But this modules has to be configured according to the business rule because organizational functionality as far as the business to business is different. You cannot say the same. Yes or no, right? Because organization is different, size of the organization is different, hierarchical process might be different, whatever the services they are providing might be different. So what they want, whatever the existing product they have taken, for example, they have taken some Facets application as a product if they buy. They want this to be configured according to the business rules and government mandates of it. This varies from organization to organization, as I told you, right? Depends on the size of the organization, depends on the services they offer, right? There are a lot of things that are involved in it. So they require some business analyst who should understand the business rules, who should understand the requirements in this level. In which level? When there is any configuration you are going on, right? So because you are migrating from old systems to the new application, that configuration process must be understood by someone. So that's where generally nowadays you see most of the jobs are comes under even Facets BA also, not only healthcare business analyst. You can see some job profiles even in you can see in Dice or maybe in other Indeed or somewhere. You can see there like Facets business analyst or Facets configuration analyst, something like that. You can see some profiles in online. You can see. So they want some business analyst having some knowledge over the domain part, point number one. Second, they want someone who should have the experience on the particular application. I'm talking about Facets application. So that whatever the required changes or whatever the required business rules that are needed to change, someone should be there to make some changes subsequently. So for this reason, they need some business analysts who should have a sound knowledge over the different modules which are there in Facets and how those are modules are working and all. And if there is any kind of changes you want to make in the fields or in the workflows, if you want to make any kind of changes, they want someone who should do the changes and all. For that reason, nowadays we require some business analysts. Those business analysts are called as Facets PA or Facets configuration analysts. Do you understand this? Clear?
Yes, yes.
Now, these are the steps normally we follow when it comes to the Facets itself is concerned. You can see the first one, because this is a high level process I'm explaining you, right? So that you will have an idea over that. The first one is about whenever there is a claim comes, for example, provider company. Okay. What provider company do? Provider company has submitted a claim through, you know that, right? So through 837, Generally, they submit the claim processing. You know that, right? I already explained that part to you. So whenever they submitted, what will happen? There will be a middleman which is called scribe. You know that. What the scribe will do? Scribe will authenticate and authorize whether the required information is right or not. So once it is right, what will happen? Directly, this claim application will be loaded in the core facets application. This is the first step.